Hey, cheers to you, my friend. Cheers to life. Cheers to life and the beauty of it all. Cheers to the universe that provides us and the providence that's come with it. JKKC on the throne of love saying good afternoon, good evening, good morning, good night. And wherever you are, my friend, welcome to this 92nd episode of Tuko Riadha. We are in athletics, the platform that highlights, unpacks, TikToks it. I don't do that, but I try to give you some of all those kind of nuggets of life from an athletics perspective. I appreciate you. As I said every time and now and then, without you, I don't think I'll be here. So it is a community we've created together. The subscribers that I have, the viewers that come through, they speak to the fact that maybe the voice in the wilderness is coming with some truth and some things people can chew on. I'm not taking credit. I'm giving you credit because it's encouraging when you have an audience. I think the reaction of the audience matters. It kind of gives you an angle on how to approach a subject. And the subjects I've tried to approach here is from a sense of humility, a lot of love and sensitivity to the fact that I'm dealing with human beings, souls in any perspective, and I respect that. And I want to celebrate that by saying that my milestone was 30 subscribers, and I crossed the bridge. I crossed the bridge. I was on a bike. It was a one-legged bike. Is that what is that, tricycle? No, tricycle is three. Yeah, that wheel. And then all of a sudden I developed into two wheels. And now I have three. I need the fourth wheel. I don't know how that bikes look like. It might be a Tesla at the end of next year. Hey, it's never too late to have a good car like that. They say it's a good car. I sat in one Tesla one time when they first got into the market. I sat in one, just sat in it, okay? I was just sitting there. I don't know what I saw. I saw a car. That's all. Well, again, I'm here with you. And nashukuru sana shujaa mwenzangu. I know it was a celebration of Jamhuri Day in Kenya. I hope the shujaas in their space, in how they feel about things, they had a moment to reflect on a country that I suspect hasn't delivered in many fronts. Kenya is struggling. And I'm just being kind when I say that. I'm just trying to play down because I'm aware of the burdens that the common mwananchi, the common man, continues to grind and to seemingly suffering in that country. And I'm aware of that. So even when I say, hey, I know, I kind of have a sense of it because I have an empathy that is very Kenyan because I grew up there. I did. And so when I hear the aches and pains and the groaning and the moanings from the locals and the common man in the country, it resonates. So anyway, to all the Kenyans, I wish you a good season. I don't know how that season looks for you, whether you're going to celebrate it. We're going to be gazing at something beautiful. I hope there's something beautiful to look at. Anyway, that's a perspective we're going to have. But before I proceed, what about this just for interruption? No interruptions there. That's the Queen, Fire Test. Says Makambo Mibale from Brazzaville. I just can't help myself but mix it up. Because you know what? It's in the music. Falanga, my friend, is all about money. Where the corruption is. I've been listening to this stuff almost religiously. Listen, if I let myself go, I wouldn't fall asleep. You'd be like, what happened to the introduction to Koreada? Now the dude is just hypnotized by fire taste. I got to tell you something. There's a voice out there, and that great woman of African origin and Congo in particular, it speaks to the whole narrative of, hey, life is beautiful. You could be in this and that, but sometimes it's the music that unites. Is when we listen to one another. I listen to her. My wife is aware. Some people in this audience, they know. You get fire taste on, you got my head moving. Some parts of the body tend to join in. Don't let it go there because I get hypnotized. Thanks for listening. Stay with me because I want to celebrate an athlete or a couple. I'm very particular with this one because I think we've been celebrating high achievers from Paris and looking at the whole calendar of athletics this year, which is great. I think McLaughlin, LeBron deserves to win it, according to some people. She got my vote, but it was a second or third. Beatrice Chebet, to me, is a runaway winner. I don't care what people say, but I know there's a bias. I kept saying that. It's okay. But let me go to this winning couple for me. Tara Davis, Tara Davis Woodhall, the long jumper gold medal winner from Paris Olympics. That lady looks like she reminds me of Jackie. I think Jackie Kersey and Bob. I think they were a couple, but he was a coach, and she did all this. She did the decathlon, a pathlon for the women. It's heptathlon, okay. But she reminds me of her in a younger formation. It was a great couple that you remember in '96, I think '92 Olympics. They just worked together for excellence. The reason why I'm bringing Tara Davis Woodwall is because I remember watching her long jumps. Not only does she know how to get the crowd going, which is part of the whole energy she gathers from the crowd, she's very aware where the camera is. I got to tell you, if you are born in this age, you know where the camera is and you know what time it is. It's action. I tell you what, it wasn't just action for her. I remember there was a drama about her coming into the finals. She was missing in the room before you go out to do your long jump. I think she was late or some, and there was a I think there was a text that went viral that oh, I'm in the cab. I should be there shortly. She I don't think she intentionally creates these things around her. Is the fact that she's a great lady and a partner to Hunter Woodhall, who not only are they both gold medalist winner, her husband is Paralympian in 400 meters at the T60 category. He ran a 46 in the 400. She won gold, he won gold in Paris Olympics. I got to say is the golden pair that I need to highlight on this episode of JKKC. Tara and Hunter Woodhall are the perfect couple in a perfect year. There's no way you can script that. There's no way you can script that. They are a beautiful couple to watch. I remember watching her win, and she just jumped on her husband's arms, and they were hugging, and you can see the emotions are genuine. Let me tell you what I'm looking at. I know you like to see what I'm looking at because this is the only way I share it. I'm looking at Tara, Davis, and Hunter. Look at that couple. Are you kidding me? Why don't we just look at that and say, life is good? And mostly when you win gold in an event or in the sport that you've been working so hard as a couple and you win, I tell you what, there should be a category for couples in any sporting event. If they're a couple, let's acknowledge that. Because Tara and Hunter Woodwall, I got to say, is a pair to watch. I know they don't show a lot of Paralympics every other time. I know, it's different season for different discipline or categories or sports. But for me, I like how she says it. We both won gold, and this gold is almost like a ring to us. They both gonna be wearing that gold, she says, for the rest of their lives. I wish them well. To who? Tara Davis Woodhall and Hunter Woodhall. They're a couple to behold, my friend. And let me just tell you one thing I like about life. Something about life that I tell you what, I like to bring it to your view, to your listening, because when the legend, the American legend sprinter, Felix or Allyson Felix speaks. Yesterday, I think I said, who spoke to me yesterday? It was Shakira, sorry. When these legends, these women, I'm aware of the women and their struggles in the universe, in the spaces, in the platforms. And so when a woman of legendary status, like Allyson Felix speaks, she has my attention. She does. She has, on this one, she has even more of my attention. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. Because she's gone global. And when Allyson Felix goes global in her views, in her words, in how she's looking at the womanhood and how the woman needs to be not only honored and respected and dignified. This is what she says. I'm just point blank saying something has to change on protecting women athletes in Kenya. When I saw that, I was like, what is she talking about? Allyson Felix must have been watching my YouTube. I don't think so. I don't think she's watching any of this. But she's speaking from the same platform that I've been speaking of. The dignity of Kenyan women needs to be reclaimed, if at all it was there in the beginning. The American sprint legend has raised concerns over women athletes' safety in Kenya, advocating for cultural change and systematic reform. What is she talking about? She's talking about femicide. She's talking about women abuse and misuse and murder. That's what she's talking about. I continue. She's speaking. She's speaking. And I'm reading verbatim. I'm just reading. American sprint icon Allyson Felix has expressed deep concern over the safety of women athletes. Let me just stop there and say that I would have gone more further than that with Allyson Felix with this gender bias, gender discrimination. I'm talking of Casa Semenya. I'm talking of Negesa, the Ugandan woman who had to go through operations and surgery that had destroyed her life. Now she's taking refuge in Germany because the Ugandan system cannot tolerate anybody who is different, who is not pure gender, so to speak. I'm talking about Weri Wamboi, whom the Polish women in 2016 Olympics turn around and call African women men. That's offensive to me. You don't turn around because you're fucking blonde and call somebody who is of African descent a woman because they don't look like you. And I'll go even further and say Sebastian Coe, who is trying to run for IOC Olympic presidency, needs to shut up and realize that the world has changed. That there are women who don't look like European women and they deserve a space, a place, a respect, a safe place to compete in the Olympics. I'm very, 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 very vocal on this one. I've been saying it, and I'm glad the legend, Allyson Felix, has joined me because she continues describing violence against female competitors as a real problem that demands urgent attention. Urgent? Welcome aboard, Allyson Felix. You and I can talk because I've been talking about this subject quite a while. It's interesting we spend more time talking about the capture of an assassin in New York, yet people around the world are being murdered because they are just different. That's the only crime people see it to be. I'm speaking about we spend more time talking about monsters instead of elevating the dignity of women. I like what she continues to say. Okay? There has to be a change in the culture. Something is not right, she says, and it does make me worry. You know what, Allyson, Felix, you should be worried. And I'm glad the IOC listens to this woman because she's a 10 times gold medalist in the Olympics. Sebastian Coe, get the hell out of here. Listen, I've spoken about Sebastian Coe being a legend, former 800 meter. Great. He was a chairman of London Olympics. Great. But when he spoke about this purification of womanhood and women category in sports, he rubbed me the wrong way. He did. Because the issue here is not that they are not women. They are not of European descent. Shut the hell up and realize that women don't have to look that blondie, skinny, whatever you call it. They don't look like this new model of track and field that's being promoted in England who won the 800 meters. Atchison, Kelly, whatever her name is. She's the new face of track and field, and everybody has to look like that. I'm different, and I deserve a space. Casa Semenya has been ostracized, exiled in sports because she's not white. I don't remember of a white woman who's been told they're new muscular. They are unisex, whatever that unisex biological component we try to see in science has discovered, and now they're not women because the European says they're not. Because in their local environment, in their local sport, wherever they are, these women, mostly of African descent, they are women. Max Miller, Imali from Kenya, she was a sprinter, and at times were mediocre, in fact pedestrian. But because she looked different and she was muscular, she was told, nah, you're not a woman, go home. You have a child, just go home. That's what they told her. Allyson Felix, she's a woman that I've always said she's way up there in the pedestal, in the pyramid of great. And now she's joining as a voice for women. Not just against violence, but against discrimination that has been going on against women of Southern Sphere. I've said this, it's all about African women. It's maybe sometimes, yes, I remember too, it was about Algerian woman in boxing. It was about a South Korean in boxing. But it's never against European women. I'm sorry, it's not. And yet, they are all women. Okay? Okay? Okay. You can see that my energy has gone negative. But let me reclaim myself. Let me get myself back into the action here. I'll speak until the day I go to my grave against any form of discrimination and violence. You know why? Some of us have experienced it. We have. And we know it looks like. It's even sometimes from your own, what you call your own tribe, or from your own family. Whatever the discrimination is and violence, it might not be physical violence, it could be mental violence. Oh, my friend, you got my attention, Allyson Felix. We remember Rebecca Cheptegei, burned to death. Agnes Tirop, stabbed to death. Damaris Mutua, hanged to death by partners, human beings who are, of course, Cheptegei was different, but it was a crime. But now, what is Abraham Corid who killed, who was, can't even say confessed to killing Agnes Tirop, is still running around. I guess you see how exhausted this subject is, because you know what? There are victims out there. There are still victims out there. I appreciate Allyson Felix I've always appreciated her. I remember during the election, she donated something in North Carolina so women can vote. I highlighted that here. I know when women do great things, they might not be in CNN or fucking news, or sorry, Fox News. I'm sorry. I'm running out of words. Okay? Maybe I'm just losing it because there's something that just unravels me when it comes to violence, discrimination, and anti human being narrative. It just drives me a little bit. It gets me on the edge. And sometimes you have to let it come out. So for you, my audience, let me end with love if I can, because I think love can drive you to do certain things. Love creates advocacy in your voice. You start to kind of give a voice to the voiceless. Give a platform to those people on our platform. And I take this platform seriously. I don't know who is listening, who is watching, who is subscribing, who is liking, who is sharing. I don't know. But I appreciate that they are doing it. It could be one or two. It takes one or two to tango, doesn't it? It's a season people are celebrating. Some are not. Are the Syrians celebrating? Yeah, they could be celebrating the hand of a tyrant, Bashir Assad. May he find his peace and rest in Russia. Sarcastically, if you can see that. Yeah, you can run. If you came in a barrel, the barrel might barrel you out. Bashir Assad, Allyson, Felix, Tara Davis, Woodhall, and Hunter, those partners, man. That was their episode. Everything else between, you can mute it, but you can never say the blood on the ground is never crying if it's innocent blood. Innocent blood continues crying from the ground. How long? At the end of it all, love is going to rule. It might look like it's not, but it's going to rule eventually. That's the universe you're looking at. It's just plenty of love out there. And it's from me to you. The oasis, the throne of JKKC. It was Tukorihada episode number 93 maybe. Don't worry about the numbers. Worry that you and I miss each other. And if you do, listen to this. It was great and I enjoyed it. And to you, flowers.